Ever wonder why folks sometimes talk over you? Try your patience? Or question what you're worth? It's not because you're weak. It's often because you seem to open, too easy to figure out. You show all your cards too soon. You care a lot, and it's easy to see. You want people to like you before they even respect you. In a world where people are always trying to get ahead, if people like you but don't respect you, it's like you're invisible. The world isn't scared of kindness. It's scared of what it doesn't understand. You've probably been taught your whole life to be good. Smile more, be friendly, be easy to talk to. But here's the thing. People often don't truly respect good people. They just use them. Why? Because if you're easy to predict, you're easy to control. Someone smart once pointed out that if people don't fear you even a little, you'll always be easy to pick on. This doesn't mean you should be mean or aggressive. It just means you should. Become a bit of a mystery. Think about a room full of noisy people. Who does everyone watch? The one who isn't saying much. Not because they expect a joke, but because they expect something they can't quite put their finger on. That's the goal, to be watched, not for attention. But because people are careful around you, if you're not seen as a potential challenge, you might just become someone's tool. Look at your own life. How many times did people ignore you until you just walked away? How many times did they only come back when you stopped trying so hard? How often did they only respect your limits when you actually set those limits by stepping back? That's because you were playing the nice game, and they were playing the power game. They knew you'd explain, you'd forgive, you'd stick around. You'd say sorry first. You'd never get angry. And once someone knows you won't push back, they'll push you first and win. You see this everywhere. In friendships, at work, even at home. People don't mess with the truly tough ones. They mess with the ones who show all their feelings, because they know your kindness will stop you before your own self-respect does. But once you become a bit of a challenge, even if you're quiet about it, people think twice before they speak to you. They check their tone. They plan what they're going to say more carefully. They hesitate to disrespect you. Why? Because now you might not bark, but you might bite. That's the power of keeping things to yourself. People expect you to react. It's how they measure if they can control you. Can they make you flinch? Can they make you explain yourself? Can they make you chase after them? Can they make you soft? Every time you do one of those things, they mark you as safe. Every time you don't, they mark you as maybe dangerous. Dangerous doesn't mean crazy, it means you're hard to read. Someone smart figured out that the moment people can guess your feelings, they'll shape your future around their needs, not yours. But when they can't guess, they wait, they watch, they listen to you. You've spent your life trying to be liked. First, now, try being respected quietly. Not by threatening people, not by shouting, but by being a bit unpredictable, by being silent sometimes, by not letting your emotions show just because someone wants you to. Because the person who walks in smiling all the time is easily forgotten. But the person who walks in without needing to say a word, they become a strong presence. And presence sticks around longer than just a voice. It's not about what you are. It's about what people think you're capable of. You don't have to be dangerous. You just need people to think you might be. And how do you do that? Without saying a word. You control how much you show. You control your energy. You control your quietness. Because in any place, there's one simple rule. People are careful around what they don't understand. And they respect what they're careful around. Step 1. Don't show everything you have. Noisy people show everything. Their hopes, their worries, their plans, what makes them angry or sad. They talk a lot, they try to prove themselves, they show off. And the more they show, the easier it is for others to figure out how to get the better of them. Instead, be a bit of a fog. If people can read you like a book, they can easily replace you. If they can't, they'll be more cautious with you. So say less. React slower. Keep your plans a bit hazy, not to confuse people, but to control how they see you. Because when everyone else is trying to be noticed, the one they can't quite figure out is the one they think about most. Step 2. Don't defend yourself. Don't explain. Nothing makes you look weaker faster than trying to defend yourself. If someone criticizes you and you explain why you did something, you're basically saying, yes, you hit a nerve. If they call you quiet and you defend your silence, you're showing you care more than they thought. Every time you explain your actions, you're saying, you can still get to me emotionally. Instead, just look at them blankly. Maybe nod. Maybe a small smile. Maybe just say, got it. That's how you become someone people are careful around. You hear everything, but you give nothing back. Step 3. Send mixed signals on purpose. Being someone people are careful around doesn't mean being aggressive. It means being hard to predict. People aren't scared of what they understand. They're scared of things that don't make sense. Sometimes be kind, then suddenly quiet. Offer help, then disappear without a reason. Why? Because nothing makes people feel unsure, like things that don't add up. And being unsure can make people fall in line. You don't have to be mean. Just confusing enough that people stay respectful because they don't want to test the side of you they haven't seen yet. This is what people today call mystery. Step 4. Stay calm when others are losing it. The best way to make people careful around you is to stay calm when everything else is crazy. When people are gossiping, stay quiet. When they're yelling, just slowly blink. When they're panicking, speak softly. When they insult you, just give a small smile. This shows one thing: you can't be shaken. And if they can't shake you, they can't move you. And if they can't move you, they might worry about what you might choose to move next. That calmness, that refusal to get into a big fuss. That's when you stop being just another person and become a presence they have to deal with. The fewer words you need, the stronger each one becomes. And if people can't guess what you'll say, they start changing how they act before you even open your mouth. That's not just talking, it's commanding. When people hear threat, they often think violence. When they hear control, they think yelling. But it's often about being a strong presence. The people who are most respected in a room are often the ones who do the least but are still noticed the most. It's safer to be respected than loved if you can't be both. It's not because respect makes you mean, but because it makes others value your quietness. You don't need to actually hit anyone. You just need people to believe you might, and that belief is stronger than any argument you could ever make. If people don't think they'll lose you, they'll waste your time, talk over you, ask for more than they give, expect explanations, and ask for favors without giving anything back. Why? Because they don't feel your presence has any real weight. You're safe, predictable, kind, always saying yes. In this power game, those aren't good things. They're weaknesses just waiting to be tested. So what does being a challenge look like? It's not a weapon, it's not shouting, it's not seeking revenge. It's saying nothing after someone disrespects you. Staying calm when people gossip. Being unpredictable without showing strong feelings. Walking out of a room and making people feel your absence. That's what makes people careful. Being careful around you is your advantage. You're not just a person, you're a consequence. Once people experience you pulling back, you not chasing after them, they start connecting your quietness with a change in their world. When you stop replying, they start thinking deeply. When you say less, they overthink things. When you don't show up, they notice. Now, your absence becomes a mirror for them. Not because you're punishing them, but because they suddenly realize, without their approval, I don't know how to feel about myself anymore. It's a mind game. You don't need big armies to make people careful. You need silence, distance, and being a bit hard to figure out. Because when people can't guess your next move, they either back off or try to win you over again. Both are good for you. Think of it like this. Most people are like a loyal dog. Always there, even when they're treated badly. Friendly, even when made fun of. Always following orders, even when ignored. But everyone wants to be like a wolf. Here's the secret. The wolf doesn't bark. He just watches. And when he moves, no one is ready. That's who you need to become. You don't bark. You don't explain. You don't beg. You think things through. You hold back. Let others feel the cool silence of your presence without ever raising your voice. The people who stick in memory are often the quiet ones. It's funny. Noisy people are remembered for the moment. Quiet, steady people are remembered in your head for a long time. Because after you leave a room, people keep replaying what they couldn't understand about you. Why didn't they say anything? Were they testing us? What did that silence mean? They can't move on because you never gave them a neat ending. And when people can't close the file, they keep reading it forever. That's how people become careful around you. Not from what you do, but from what you might do. You don't have to say a word to be the most impactful person in a room, because most power isn't spoken. It's shown through how you stand, how you are, what you don't do when everyone else is trying to be seen. You want people to be careful around you? Start with daily habits that make them wonder about you. Habit 1. Never be the first to react. When someone says something that tries to get a rise out of you, wait. Everyone else rushes to reply, to defend, to get the last word. But not you. You blink, you pause. You let their energy just bounce off your calmness. Why? Because the person who reacts first is almost always seen as the weaker one. But the one who waits, that's the one whose next move everyone is thinking about. It's not hesitation, it's planning. And people are more careful around someone who's planning than someone who's just reacting. Habit 2. Speak slower, say less, leave earlier. This sounds simple, but it changes how people see you. Speaking slower shows you're in control. Saying less makes you seem more valuable. Leaving early creates mystery. Most people talk to be understood. But power doesn't try to be understood. It tries to make people wonder. You want people to ask, what did they mean by that? Were they agreeing or warning me? Why did they leave when things got interesting? If people can't fully figure you out, they start to be careful around you. Habit 3. Pull back to make your presence stronger. The most impactful people aren't always around, but when they are, everyone notices. Why? Because they don't show up too often. You need to leave social events, conversations, arguments, even meetings, before people get too used to you being there. A dog is always there. A wolf appears, then vanishes. Then when the wolf vanishes, everyone wonders where they went. This makes your presence more valuable because it's not always available. Be the one they notice is gone, not the one they expect to stay. Habit 4. Never over-explain your actions. Explaining things makes sense to you. You want to be clear, honest, understood. But every explanation takes away from your power. Said no? Just say no. You changed your mind? Let it be changed. You walked away. Stay gone. No reasons. No emotional talk. No justifying why you're setting a boundary. Because once you start explaining, you start defending. And once you start defending, you're not in charge anymore. You're trying to make a deal. And someone people are careful around never makes deals. Habit 5. Stay calm and neutral in social games. You'll notice how people often try to test how you feel. They'll say things to get a reaction, joke about your quietness to make you talk, flirt, poke, or try to make you feel guilty just to break your calm. Why? Because they can feel that unreadable energy and they're a bit scared of it. They try to crack it open because if they can't, they'll have to assume you're stronger than they are. Let them assume. Smile, watch, pull back. Because the more they try to read you, the more power you get. Someone smart didn't just act strong. They practiced staying calm, controlling their actions. Having a daily way of being that silently said, you don't know what I can do, and you never will. But if you cross me, you might find out. There's a fine line between being a mystery and being ignored, between quietness that commands attention and quietness that just disappears. The trick is knowing how to make people respect your silence, but also be careful around what they don't know about you. If people only fear you, they'll pretend to listen but plan against you behind your back. They'll follow rules in public but secretly try to mess things up. They'll give in on the outside but build anger inside. This kind of power only lasts a little while. It keeps people in line for a moment, but it makes them dream of your downfall. That's why you need to earn respect. Through being a bit unpredictable, being careful around you should be mixed with some admiration. Not love, not liking, but a kind of deep respect that says, they could hurt me, but they haven't. But respect without caution leads to people taking advantage. People only respect you, they'll praise you openly, like your leadership, trust your skills. But eventually, they'll ask for more than they give. They'll talk over you. They'll expect your kindness as a sure thing. You become liked, not watched carefully. And when people stop watching you carefully, they start underestimating what you're capable of. The answer is a kind of tension. The most impactful people carry a subtle tension around them, not drama. It's just a quiet feeling that you're kind, but not to be messed with. You're calm, but not someone to play games with. You're silent, but not asleep. This tension keeps people a little on edge around you in a good way, because they don't know how much of what you show is real. And the moment people start trying to figure out how deep you are, they stop trying to control you. How to build that tension. Be consistent in control, but not in your feelings. You're always calm, but not always warm. Sometimes you just watch. Sometimes you're hard to read. Sometimes you're a little amused. Never angry, never just sitting back. It's collected, but not completely open. That being hard to predict keeps them guessing. Say something very precise, then disappear. You don't talk often, but when you do, it's exact. You end an argument with one sentence. You fix a mistake once, and that's it. Then you're gone. You leave the conversation hanging a bit. You don't repeat your point. And that one moment stays with them longer than 100 speeches. It's lasting tension. Make people feel what it's like to lose you without threatening to leave. You never beg for attention. You never say you're going to leave. But you teach people to feel the difference when you pull back. You stop replying. You stop nodding. You become professionally cool. You leave the room early without a word. No explanation, no closing remarks, just distance. And they will feel it. Because your presence had value they didn't realize until it was less available. Now they know. And next time there'll be more. Careful. Let praise exist without needing to confirm it. When people compliment you, don't melt. Don't change the subject. Don't give it back to them. Just nod. Hold their eye contact. Maybe a brief smirk. You don't need to show you agree with their compliment by acting humble. Why? Because accepting praise without needing it tells people something a bit scary. You already know you're good. And their words were a nice gesture, not something you needed. This is how you walk the line. You let people respect your quietness. But also be careful about the mystery underneath it. That tension, that's how someone smart would deal with things today. The noisy ones get noticed for a moment. The quiet ones are remembered for a long time. Someone smart didn't just want to control people right then and there. They wanted to live in people's minds long after they left the room. Because true power isn't about being dominant. It's about a presence that stays even when you're gone. And the most impactful kind of presence is the one that never fully explained itself. People forget bad things quicker than losing what's important to them. So ask yourself, what kind of person do you need to be so that when you're not around, people feel like they've lost something valuable? How to become unforgettable and a bit unpredictable. Strategy 1. Don't give them what they expect. Most people show everything about themselves in minutes. They're too nice, too emotional, too available. You smile less, speak slowly, offer only what's necessary. You create a sharp difference that makes people slow down around you. They change their tone, their actions, even how they breathe. Not because you demanded it, but because your energy changed everything. Now you've left a lasting impression. Strategy 2. Let them guess, then keep things to yourself. People will try to put a label on you. Oh, they're intense. She's so mysterious. They're hard to figure out. Let them, because once they start guessing, they start thinking about you a lot. They'll replay your silence. They'll study your expressions. They'll make up stories to explain the parts of you they can't see. Don't correct them. Their imagination is now working for you. And the more confused they are, the more they'll come back to you in their thoughts. Strategy 3. Leave them hanging a bit. People usually want everything neatly wrapped up. They want full explanations, clear goodbyes, a final bow. You end conversations a little before they feel finished. You disappear a little before they're ready for you to go. You give silence a little after they expected a reply. Why? because that feeling of something unfinished becomes a hook. They'll go back over that moment again and again, trying to complete what you started. That's how your presence becomes something they can't stop thinking about. Strategy 4. Protect your inner thoughts like a secret treasure. They ask what keeps you going. You say, I'm focused. They ask if you're okay. You say, always adapting. They ask what you want. You say, that depends on the day. You give them hints, never the whole story. Knows why you do things. They start planning how to use that against you. But when your inner thoughts feel like a strong fortress, they stop trying to get in and just watch wonder. Think of you long after you've stopped thinking of them. The real brilliance wasn't in being remembered as a great person. It was in being remembered as someone who could have done anything and chose when, how, and if they would. That if is the key. That's what they can't forget. You've reached the point where silence isn't just a trick. It's how you naturally are. Where you don't hide your feelings. You just choose when, where, and if it's worth showing them. True power isn't when people obey you out of fear. It's when they start acting differently just in case you're watching. The person who is hard to read cannot be trapped. Once people understand you, they try to manage you. But once they realize they'll never fully figure you out, they give up on controlling you. And instead, they give you space because you are now unpredictable. And what's unpredictable becomes untouchable.